Hey there, welcome back. So now we're going to talk about the next part in our handbook. It's physical sabotage. Let's see. The use of DEWs, direct energy, they spelled energy as energy weapons discussed below. Okay, the use of DEWs creates both acute and chronic pains as well as destructive of the physical body. The perps may poison the TI's food not only in their residence but that which exists in the store prior to their purchasing it. This utilizes advanced technology of synthetic telepathy, V2K, discussed below. Poison gas may be pumped into the air residence via whatever intake vent, or the perps may simply drill a hole into the wall of the residence and pump it in while the TI sleeps, e.g. nitric oxide or other forms of gas. That's BS. That won't happen. Don't believe that. If you believe that, listen to me. It's an illusion. You're imagining things. That's not true. Harming. Torturing and or killing the animals under the care of the TI or those the TI is suspected of caring about. No. Life happens. Things are going to happen to animals. Take care of your pets. You want to eliminate any type of thing that will perpetuate this narrative. Gangstalkers are not allowed to harm anything. The only thing that can happen, look, if a gangstalker was trying to produce, if I was getting gangstalked and I had a pet, right? And my pet just died and it was like somewhere outside dead or something. What would happen is that a gangstalker would just happen to be around it and then just like either talk it on the phone and say, yeah, we killed the animal, even though they had nothing to do with it. So then what is that going to do? You're going to be fully convinced that they killed your animal. But in reality, that wasn't the case. So if you're getting gangstalked and your animal dies and you see a gangstalker outside close by your pet and implying that they have something to do, just trust me, that's not the case. It had nothing to do with them killing your animal. All they did is created the narrative that they did have something to do with it. But in reality, that was just life. Now, doctors, nurses, and other professionals will abuse their powers to visit, harm the TI. Vaccinations, needless surgeries that will be botched deliberately in some way. Pharmaceuticals will be prescribed, if possible, coercively through threat of physical force. To ensure compliance. Other harmful procedures will be prescribed, and effective natural healing modalities will be omitted to be mentioned or will be discouraged. First of all, every single doctor is not gonna be recommending natural modalities of healing. That's just modern medicine, especially in the United States. No doctor is going to tell you, oh, why don't you just do this thing that is natural? No, they want to make the most money. That's just how it is. Now, one thing, every surgery is going to feel botched. You had perfect skin and all of a sudden you don't. That's just how surgeries go. They're going to look awful in the beginning and then they're going to heal, and in like 10 years, they're going to look a lot better. That's it. I have a personal experience with this. So this was really traumatizing. So I went to the doctor. I was doing a lot of drugs. I had a really bad stomach ache. So I kept going into the emergency room. It was all drug related. And I had nothing. And there was nothing really wrong with me. But one, I had my insurance. Two, the doctor was a psychopath. I'm gonna tell you why. And I'm not sure if this had anything to do with gang stalking. I'm gonna tell you, to be honest. It is the same trickery. This is why I believe that it did have something to do with gang stalking. Because once the surgery was over, I'm gonna tell you the details on another video. Actually, I already did, and the malpractice. I'm not sure what I named it, but anyways, I will recount it better in the next time I talk about it. But I went in because I had a stomach ache. They were gonna do an endoscopy, and they found nothing wrong. So the doctor, before that, made me sign this waiver that if I was already under and they were already, inside me, that I gave them permission to just perform a surgery while I was under. When I refused to sign it, the doctor got so upset. Because it was money that he wasn't gonna get. And I was in so much pain that I went and signed it anyways. So it was only supposed to be an endoscopy. And then when I woke up, I had just had open surgery. I have pictures of that, and I will take them later. I will show them to you later. But it was awful. It was crazy. Well, anyways, the doctor kind of planned that all along. I knew that because first, they didn't find anything wrong. They had no reason to open me up. They found nothing wrong with the endoscopy. Second, when I was alone with the doctor pulled up a phone with a picture of hands holding intestines. He stared at me, didn't say anything, and pulled his phone away. I was just there quiet, and I told myself, I didn't know if I was getting gang stalked back then. I think I was. But I told myself, do not react. So I said nothing. I didn't say anything. This stayed in my mind for a long time. I think that drove me deeper into drugs because I wasn't like perfectly hot anymore. But whatever, now, freaking, well, I don't care. I kind of like this. I like the scar that it left now. I actually appreciate it. It's tied to a really negative experience, but I'm over it now. It took me years to get over that. And I still don't think I'm over it, to be honest. But I can live with it, and I am not thinking about it all the time. For a long time, well, I will tell you about this later, but things that were open with something coming out from the inside triggered me. like it reminded me of how my stomach being open. And gangstalkers didn't know this. It was a trigger that I set myself up with my previous experience. I thought they were mocking the fact that they fucked me, that the doctor fucked me, And yeah, that was awful. I'm not gonna lie. And the only thing that I can do is just get better. Well, I know it wasn't the behavior of the doctor just told me everything. I didn't need the surgery. The other doctor told me there was nothing wrong with you. They just opened me for the insurance because they wanted to make money. And that shit was awful. It was malpractice. And the fact that the doctor, look, I have two options of perceiving this. One, the doctor was actually holding my intestines at one point, and he asked his coworkers to snap a picture so that he could show it to me later. Or it was just a picture that he just found on Google of hands holding intestines. First of all, if the picture was of my intestines, of the doctor holding my intestines, that's supposed to like leave me traumatized for life. Whatever. So what? What can I do about it? Feel bad for myself? I'm not happy about it, but I'm not gonna dwell on that. I'm thinking about that right now, so I feel like I do feel like a little down just talking about this experience. But I can decide to also just believe that it was just a picture from the internet. I don't know. I'm never gonna know. It's hard for me to just close this episode of my life, and I still feel ambivalent about this situation. But the truth of the matter is that I don't know. And this is still hard for me to just try to switch my perception from one thing, but it has gotten easier. The thing is that I'm hardly thinking about that, and whenever I look at my scar, I don't think about it. Particularly now, because I kind of like the scar, and because I can't wait for my abs to be like completely flat. And I was thinking about just like getting it tattooed in some way that it looked cool. I don't know, but this is one of the things that actually, I think this is the hardest experience with gang stalking that I have had. And I don't know if it has to do with gang stalking or not. The thing is that this is what gang stalkers want. Any previous experience that you had before, during, you will mix it up with gang stalking, and you're gonna not know. I don't know, and I will, if I was still under the narrative that gang stalkers had effed me, I would believe that that surgery wasn't necessary, and it might have been. But one time I hooked up with this one guy. His name was Andrew, total sweetheart, and he had the same scar as I did. So after seeing that made me feel relief. And it kind of took power away from that experience, because I guess that's just how that surgery is sewed up. And my job as me is to move on, regardless of how bad it could have been. Now the picture, I'm never gonna know. But I mean, I was thinking about it and I was analyzing it. So surgeries, there's a lot of people in surgery. Do you really think that everyone is gonna be like that? He's gonna be, oh, can you hold his intestines and let me take a picture of it? You know, it is possible, but is it likely? I would say it's highly unlikely. So I decided to believe that it was just, he just got a picture out of Google and then just like showed me, because the whole gangstalking experience has been based on, it's that pattern. It is something that isn't, it make you believe a evil narrative about it, even though when it is just a part of life. I could have stopped that if I would have just stopped using drugs back then. But I had just gone out of a relationship with a malignant narcissist who was really good at manipulating. And I couldn't stop using drugs because it kept my mind away from it. And yeah, so anyways, yes, I have decided to just be more on the side that it was a picture found on Google. Whether it might have been or might have not been his intentions, I don't know. I'm never gonna know. But what I do about it, how I feel about it, how often I think about it, if I dwell on it, that's on me. And I decide not to dwell on it. I already did. Now I'm gonna rock that scar, and I'm gonna get in the best shape of my life, and I cannot wait to go to the circuit parties and show off my scar, because I actually kind of enjoy it now. I'm gonna have the flattest stomach. I want to have veins on my abs again like I used to. So that's that. Do I feel like it was botched? No, because I saw someone with the same scar, so I don't think it was botched. Actually, the scar was perfectly fine. Now, it healed well. I didn't have any type of medical problems after that. They did do something, so I don't know if I remember they pulled out something, I'm not sure what. So, you know, for some reason I don't have a lot big I was going through a lot around that time, so I am never gonna know if I know they pulled something out, so maybe there was something wrong with me back then. I haven't had any problems since then, so I don't know. But what I decided to believe is up to me. And listen, notice how I have evidence for both sides of the story, of the narrative. Now, it is my decision believing which narrative it is, because I have evidence that it was good, I have evidence that it was bad. You know what I mean? So at this point, I'm gonna stay neutral, but I'm more geared towards everything was like that, and my doctor was just a psychopath. A lot of doctors are psychopaths. They have to be desensitized to pain, to blood, to all of that stuff. That's normal. Now, that's that. On the next video, we're gonna talk about noise campaigns. Thank you for watching.